This is my actual opinion on this particular judgment that was received on 23rd of Jan related to the Great Legalization Movement India versus Union of India in case of complete decriminalization, liberalization and legalization of cannabis, hemp, which includes ganja and also all of the other uses of the particular plant. So we've asked for several of the sections to be, which includes cannabis, to be diluted and removed from the NDPS Act. That was our actual prayer, that all of these sections that are there in the NDPS Act, which includes cannabis, must be removed because it is unconstitutional. So over the last 6 years, the only song that the Indian government was singing was, no, it doesn't violate the fundamental rights in whatsoever form. The plant has been demarked and differentiated properly. We have treated the fibers and seeds separately. We have treated the flowers separately. We have treated the resins of the flowers separately. And also all of the different treatments, we have given different kinds of possibilities where the state governments can allow the cultivation and the use and all of these things. But the only thing that is not allowed is the flowers. No state government has the authority to allow cultivation and use of flowers. But for medicinal and industrial purposes, it is okay, and R&D. This is also one of the key element of the particular thing, because when we wrote down all the sections, we've also included the cultivation aspect where cannabis cultivated for flowers, which is ganja, which is the actual essence of cannabis itself. Okay, there are all of other benefits of the particular plant, but the most unique thing about the particular plant is the flowers, which is what we call as ganja, and the resin that comes out of it, which is usually rubbed and collected, which is the charas or hashish. These are all the names that have been made into some kind of a very dangerous drug, like hashish hai, charas hai, ganja hai, all of these things. But on reality, ganja is it's a sacred plant, and the flower itself is extremely sacred, and it's a sacrament in Hindu philosophy. And the hashish and charas, what they're calling, which is the resin, that is the most important medicinal thing. That is the medicine, because that resin, which includes the THC, is what is going to be able to be curing any kind of diseases in the body. The fibers or seeds or leaves, it doesn't really matter. All of those things are not what we're really after. So the Indian government is saying that no, we have differentiated all of these particular parts of the plant, and then we have state government which can use particular sections to make laws and create medical research and scientific purposes and industrial purpose for fibers and other things. But the unconstitutionality also comes in where like one state might pass that this is okay, we will allow it in this particular state, the other state might not pass it. And what about the citizens who are living in that particular state? What are they going to do for the medicine? Because if that state has not framed the rules, no cannabis trade is also going to happen with that particular state. Like for example, Gujarat is saying no to alcohol, which is a great thing, and Gujarat does not want to import alcohol or export alcohol or anything as such. But when it comes to cannabis, we cannot do that, because cannabis flowers, the ganja, is a medicinal thing, and then that medicine has to be allowed in every individual's life if they want to. If they want to grow the plant, they should be free enough to do it. If they want to use that particular plant, they should be free enough to use it. Whether they want to use it for their personal consumption or recreational consumption or medicinal consumption, it should be allowed to do it. On the other hand, you are allowing all the alcohol and other horrible things in this particular society. You have built an entire economy of consumption of alcohol in this country. That is not a problem. There people are like celebrating. New Year aa gaya, celebrate karenge. Christmas aa gaya, celebrate karenge. Friendship birthdays aa gaya, celebrate karenge. Marriage aa gaya, celebrate karenge. Like that is how alcohol is being so overwhelmingly uplifted in the society. But something as sacred to the Hindu philosophy and to the Vedic knowledge, to the Ayurvedic knowledge, is being completely butchered down. So what the Indian government kept saying was, we have demarked, there is nothing else to do. So the judge, what the real intelligent thing that was done over here is, the judge really asked, so if you're really saying, and this is the song that you have been singing for so long, that if it is legal, it is legal, it is not a blanket ban, then actually, if the rules are not existing, then frame the rules and bring it out in the society. That's it. Frame the rules. If you are saying that it is legal, there is no blanket ban, then frame all the rules, take the legislative decisions, bring it out to the society so that the constitutional rights are not violated. So that is one of my opinion, which is, like, in a way, it is actually really good, because the Indian government is now caught in its own net of lies. Because on one end they're saying that state governments have allowed, but in the law itself it clearly states, if the state government wants to frame the rules, they can, not must. Every state government must form rules, and it must allow the cultivation of cannabis plant for medicinal purposes and make sure that the medicine is available. No, if the state government want to, they can do it. And if the state government don't want to do it, maybe based on that political decision or whatsoever, at the end of the day, the citizens' fundamental rights are actually violated. If someone is deceased, if someone is going through a horrible disease, all sorts of synthetic medications are being pumped into that patient's body. All sorts of horrible procedures are being undertaken in this particular country when it comes to treatment of certain kinds of drugs. But something that is absolutely safe, non-lethal, effective, efficient at curing these particular hundreds of diseases is being taken away and stripped away. And people who use cannabis are being pushed into rehab. People who grow cannabis are being pushed into jail. People who are, there is so much of fear mongering that is going on when it comes to this particular culture. And anyone who comes even across this particular plant in any way or form remotely is being called as a drug addict, ganjeri, charsi, hashishi, all of these things. So this is a war that they have raised on an ancient culture, and that was a Hindu culture. As a Hindu man, you're not allowed to drink alcohol. As per our scriptures, it is clearly said that alcohol and other things are extremely banned and one must not do it. But this is allowed. In Hindustan, in this land of India, alcohol is completely allowed and cannabis is being completely butchered on. Now, the last thing, when it comes to my personal opinion on this particular thing is, so everything, we have to wait really for 6 months. My real disappointment when it comes to this entire sudden change of direction in the court matter, we were really wishing that the court listens to the petition and on an unconstitutional ground and deciphers the matter completely so that they declare the thing unconstitutional. Okay, as a trust, as a concerned citizen, the petition has been filed after making enough number of attempts to convince the bureaucracies, to health commissioners, Prime Minister's office, Central Health Ministry, all of these things. When everything failed, we approached the court as a last resort to make sure that these particular sections of the act are removed so that we people can be free. But the court, instead of pushing it for the final arguments, the court has not heard the matter at full, especially after we have filed the written submissions and we have proved the case. All the entire case was on our side with the medical proof, scientific proof. The court should have said the same thing, but after the final arguments, the final war that was supposed to happen between the trust and the government of India, where we were about to completely decipher the entire thing, what is wrong with this particular act, that particular thing did not happen. So if there was a final argument that had happened, then the court would have heard the entire thing in its entirety and they would have declared these things unconstitutional, and then they would have asked the government to frame the rules, because this is unconstitutional, we are no longer going to accept this particular thing. That is what should have happened. But instead, before doing that, the court said, now you are saying that it is legal, every state government can do it and all of these things, and there are no laws and other things that are put in place. Why don't you frame the laws and report it back within 6 months as to how you are going to bring all of these uses properly and effectively in this particular country, and then we will talk. And if the petitioner is not happy, and If the petitioner is not happy, they will have every right to revive the case, and then we are going to handle it on a constitutional basis, and where the matter will be decided. So this is my actual opinion on this particular matter. Stay with me, stay connected. The next video, we are going to talk about what are the possibilities that is going to happen during this course of 6 months. What are the possibilities that the government might do, and what all might be the outcome of this particular exercise. Okay, thank you.